Hi, I'm Megan. And I'm Krista. We're two nerds getting our PhDs in chemistry, and we started this channel to explain the science behind things that you see every day. So please like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what you'd like to see us talk about next. And thanks for joining us on
Explained by Nerds
with Megan and Krista. Today we're talking about the science of organic foods.
Yep, this stuff.
What does organic mean? Why is it more expensive? And is it better for you?
This bell pepper is organic. What does that even mean?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So to be considered organic, it's a pretty stringent process, but it's all organized by the National Organic Program. And so we're going to talk about some of the things that make this organic.
The National Organic Program says that to be organic, food must be grown on farmland that has been chemical-free for over 3 years. We will talk more about what they mean by chemicals later. Organic food must be kept separate from non-organic food. No touchy. Being certified organic requires lots of paperwork and visits from agencies that determine whether or not your farm is following all of the rules. Organic foods cannot be grown with sewage sludge or irradiated at any point. And farmers cannot use any human-made chemicals on their organic foods.
That's a lot of requirements. Let's learn more about these things. Sewage sludge is basically leftover stuff from wastewater treatment plants. When we flush our toilets or run our sinks, the water goes to a treatment center, and whatever is clean can then be recycled and used again. The solid stuff that can't be consumed or used again is then used as fertilizer or for soil health. As of 2004, about 60% of all sewage sludge was applied to farmland.
Irradiation is the process of applying certain types of energy to crops. In conventionally grown food production, irradiation can be used to alter foods, like cuties, to make them seedless. It's also used to kill bacteria or pests that might live on the outside of fruits and veggies.
No human-made chemicals allowed. Now, a quick tangent about the word chemical. It has a bad reputation, but a chemical is really just anything made of atoms. Here are some examples of chemicals: water, DNA, and sugar. Are those chemicals evil? No! Anyway, what they mean by human-made chemicals is anything made in a laboratory or factory, which means synthetic fertilizers, synthetic pesticides, antibiotics, or additives.
So, in summary, here are all the things that aren't allowed in organic farming and what the farmers typically use instead.
Are all of these things bad? Are all of these things good? Nope and no.
So, why are organic foods more expensive?
Well, they're grown on a smaller scale, and they need more farmland because you need to separate your organic food from the conventionally grown food.
The manual labor required to produce organic foods is also more expensive. Most of the weeding is done by hand because you can't use herbicides to kill your unwanted plants.
Exactly. And they're also not using growth hormones, so the fruits and vegetables grow much more slowly. And also, you're not using any pesticides, so the crop yields can be lower in the event that nature takes its course.
Last but not least, the demand for organic foods is pretty high, whereas the supply is fairly low. This is another level that leads to inflation of organic food prices.
So, is it really that much healthier for you? Some studies say yes, some studies say no. So, unless most of the studies that are very thorough actually say yes, I'd say inconclusive.
And in general, it's really hard to study these sorts of things because there are a lot of different factors that influence your overall health and well-being. So for example, let's take a look at two hypothetical people.
Meet Alex and Taylor. Alex only eats organic foods, and Taylor doesn't eat any organic foods. When scientists analyze their overall health, they find that Alex is healthier than Taylor. But what about differences in socioeconomic status, stress, where they live, family health history, or exercise habits? Like Facebook relationship statuses, it's complicated.
If we look at organic foods as the only factor in human health, everything else in their lives would need to be exactly the same. That's impossible! That's why these sorts of scientific studies are so tough. People who buy organic foods tend to have healthier lives overall and are more health conscious even before their purchases. They might have more financial security and therefore less stress overall. Keep this in mind next time you hear that any habit, especially one that's more expensive,
like Soul Cycle,
makes people healthier.
Eating organic food isn't going to automatically make you healthier. Boom. But if you like it and you can afford it, go for it.
Ding!
That's all we have for you today. Nerds out! Boop.
Boop.